Hey guys, Adam here with AmericanMuscle.com. Today we're taking a quick look at installing and listening to the Roush Axleback available for the 2015 to 17 V6 Mustang. Now we all know you can't make a V6 sound like a GT, but why do you have to settle for a factory exhaust note? We all know it needs some upgrades when it comes to that V6 motor, and the Roush Axleback does the trick. You can pick this thing up and get 4 out of 5 on our loudness meter, as you just heard from our sound clips. It's extremely aggressive, it is pretty raspy, and it lets everyone around you know that it is an aftermarket exhaust and your V6 is not here to play any games. This is a unique one-chambered muffler which we'll take a closer look at with a stock comparison side by side with the factory Axleback. Now the muffler is a little bit smaller, that bullet styling gives you that resonated sound, beefs up the volume, like I said, 4 out of 5 on the loudness meter, which is really good when it comes to a V6. Typically you hear a lot of aftermarket exhausts for the V6 that really don't sound too much different than stock, which is why Roush is a very unique option in the category. The one thing I do want to mention here is with the installation, you will have to cut off your factory Axleback simply because it is all one piece welded together from the factory line. So cutting off that factory Axleback really isn't that big of a deal, but you want to have a cutting tool of your choice, something you're comfortable working with on deck. Personally, I like to use a Sawzall, which you'll see me work through in the install portion of the video, which I'll get to in just a second. Now, if you want to pick this particular Roush Axleback up for your own V6, you can do so for just under $580, which again, compared to all the other options in the category, really isn't too bad of a price tag. You get the full 304 stainless steel, you get 4-inch slash cut polished stainless steel tips. Looks really good coming out the rear end, a lot better than the factory tips in my personal opinion, and I think all you guys will agree with that completely. Now that installation, again, I am giving 2 out of 3 wrenches on our difficulty meter. It is extremely easy in my opinion, but once you have that cut out of the way, it is one simple bolt on each side. You're just clamping them together with your factory pipe and you're good to go. The cutting is the hardest part, but it really is not too bad. But for those of you not comfortable with it, 2 out of 3 wrenches on our difficulty meter. Expect to have this job done from start to finish in under an hour. So without further ado, I want to show you how it gets done, so let's get to it. Tools needed for this install will be a Sawzall or cutting tool of your choice, eyewear, 15mm deep socket, cordless impact or ratchet. Now before we can kick off the install of our Roush Axleback, we do have to do a little bit of uninstall, which does involve modification to the factory exhaust. We are going to have to cut off our factory mufflers. As you can see, this is welded right under our subframe here. Now we're going to cut right behind that weld, really right underneath our sway bar brackets that attach it to the subframe. Now I have our driver's side muffler from Roush in my hand to use this as a reference to show you guys exactly where you're going to need to cut. Now again, remember, if you're not comfortable making the cut, make sure to take it to a shop that you're trusting to get the job done properly. Now if you are handling it yourself, have a Sawzall on deck, which is what I'm going to be using, or something you're more comfortable using yourself. So again, I have the driver's side muffler here. I want to show you guys, using this as reference, where you're going to cut. So let's bring it in. All right, so we're over here on the driver's side under the factory muffler. Now holding up the Roush Axleback, you'll be able to see where our new pipe is going to connect to our factory pipe. So the weld is over here, but you want to go where this starts to curve in. Right where it meets the curve for the Axleback on our factory exhaust is where you're going to want to cut. So using a good reference here is when you're holding this up, this is where you're going to clamp. You want to have all the factory pipe through here where this starts to bevel down. So we're going to cut right about here. Another good reference point, the sway bar bracket, right at the edge, if you follow that down, it just about meets where you want to be. So we can follow that down, I'm going to mark that with a Sharpie, break out our Sawzall, and cut them both off on both sides. All right, just make sure you have some eye protection before you do this. Break out your Sawzall or a cutting tool of your choice and get to work. Slide it out of the hanger, you can set it aside. We finally got our factory Axleback cut off of our factory exhaust on our 15 V6, and we have it sitting on the floor here next to our Roush Axleback that we're ready to put on. Before we do so, I wanted to point out a couple of things between the differences of the two exhaust systems here. Now, as you can see, there is a clear size difference in the muffler, but that is not taking away from any of the sound you can expect from the Roush axle back here. In fact, this is going to be a lot louder and a lot raspier than your factory muffler here, making your V6 sound a lot better than it does off the factory floor. Now, what you also can expect is 304 stainless steel construction throughout, a unique one-chambered muffler design inside that bullet style muffler, which gives it that loud and aggressive sound that you heard in our sound clips earlier on. Now, the mandrel bent tubing helps with the airflow, so you can expect a small power bump in both horsepower and torque. And coming out the rear end, and arguably one of my favorite parts of the whole entire system, is the 4-inch slash-cut chrome polished stainless steel, which is just a whole lot better looking than these factory things that come out of the back end, which should have never looked like that from the factory. This thing is just a huge upgrade. It's got a Roush name embedded right in that material there, and honestly just looks really good coming out the rear. Now, the only thing we have left to do is install this on our V6, so let's just get to it. Now that we have our axle back ready to go on from Roush, the first thing we're going to do is slide our new hanger into our factory isolator underneath where our tip is going to enter here. So we've got that isolator up there. Before we do anything, let's just slip that right into place. Really easily goes on, and if you need WD-40, that can help as well. Now with this, you want to take the smaller two hangers, which are going to go on the pipe side. The larger two are for the tips. So we have one of those smaller ones here. We're going to slide that over the end of our Roush exhaust. Might be a little tight. You might have to loosen that up as well. All right, with that in place, we're going to slide this back to meet up with our factory exhaust. And with that in place, we can slide our clamp here and tighten that down. Now you want to make sure this is aligned properly so that when you put the tip into place, it's going to exit. So you don't want to tighten this too much, just get it nice and snug for now. Next up here on our driver's side is going to be the tip. Now the tip here gets that larger clamp. We're going to slide that over first. Slide the tip over the end of your muffler. Make sure it's aligned properly. You know, you want to make sure that slant cut is at the top here. Align your clamp so that this is not hanging down. You don't want the bolt side of the clamp hanging down too low. You want to rotate that upward a little bit and tighten that down with your 15mm socket. Well, that's going to wrap up my review, install, and sound clip of the Roush axleback available for the 15 to 17 V6 Mustang. Again, pick yours up right here at AmericanMuscle.com.